NBA is officially back, and last night was pure chaos. I mean, even in the first game, you had OKC versus the Rockets. That was a classic, bro. Double overtime. Shea, he came in the halftime. He had like 5 points, bro. Finished the game with 35. Second half, he had 18 points, and he completely took over this game. And we're going to get into that later. But then you have the second game with the Lakers versus the Warriors, where Lakers only lost by 10, okay? But if I'm a Lakers fan, bro, I would definitely be very hesitant on this game. And, yeah, but before I get into the game, two things. First thing, make sure you subscribe to the channel, bro. You know what I'm saying? I put in some hard work over here, bro. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave a like if you like this video, because you're going to like this video. And I'm posting stuff like this all season long. So that's the first thing. Second thing, I want to focus in on the like presentation of the actual opening night, bro. I feel like this presentation from NBC is probably one of the best that we will ever see, like, in a long time. I feel like we kind of have gotten spoiled over the years with just mediocrity, from like TNT to ESPN, bro. Like, it just really wasn't all that good. And if I can pull this up right here, like the NBC on NBA, it was phenomenal, bro. Like, bro, look at what we got, bro. Do you see this presentation we got last night from NBC? I haven't seen something like this in forever. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Just being able to see some effort actually be put into like the presentation of the NBA felt really good, felt really refreshing, because I mean, especially after the finals, bro, it seemed like the NBA really just didn't care anymore. Honestly and truthfully, it just seemed like they didn't care. Now I've gotten that out of the way. Let's talk about the Thunder versus the Rockets. Phenomenal game, bro. Phenomenal game. If I pull up the box score right here, bro, it was a great game. Look, 124 to 125. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he just took over, bro. Like I said, at halftime, Shai had 5 points. Can you see that? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 5 points, bro. And, I mean, you had Chet Holmgren, who played amazing this game. Chet Holmgren played amazing. He showed his potential. He showed the flash of him being not only an all-NBA caliber, I mean, an all-defensive caliber player, but all-NBA, because 18 points, if Shai's only giving you 5 points, then you need somebody to come in and do this type of work. And as we can see, bro, Shai gives you 18 points, as Shai just, he wasn't really, that aggressive. Only 5 shots. Wasn't really making his shots. But the Rockets were staying competitive, bro. The Rockets were staying competitive. I really like what Alperen Sengun, bro. The Alperen Sengun leap might be real. And I've listened. This feels really good for me, because I've been the Alperen Sengun person for a long time. Like, ever since he was drafted, he was one of my top guys coming to the draft. So to see him be able to, we already knew the playmaking and stuff was there, but to be able to extend his range out and just kind of be a reliable bucket getter for the Houston Rockets. Now, honestly, I didn't really see him becoming a reliable bucket getter for the Houston Rockets, but the fact that he was able to do that last night, pretty impressive if you ask me. And obviously, we already knew what Kevin Durant was going to do, you know what I'm saying? And we just knew what was going to come from this team. Now, the starting lineup was very interesting. The tallest starting lineup in NBA history. Amen, KD at the 2, Jabari at the 3, Alperen, and then Steven Adams. That was already, like, kind of crazy. And you definitely got to see how they struggled, right? So, like, the thing about Ime Udoka, he has the pieces on this team, kind of, but they don't really have a lot of shooting, especially now that Fred VanVleet is out, which is evidenced when you look at, like, how they shot from 3. You know what I'm saying? The Rockets shot 11. They only made, like, 11 threes out of all the ones that they attempted, bro. And that's just, plain and simple, bro, that's just not really going to cut it in the NBA, you know what I'm saying, especially in the game versus the Thunder. But surprisingly, they made more threes than they shot a better percentage from the 3 than the Thunder, but the Thunder made more threes, you see what I'm saying? But we all knew that they weren't going to be some crazy three-point shooting team. I mean, outside of Alperen giving you 5 threes, KD didn't give you a 3. Jabari Smith gives you 2 threes. You know what I'm saying? Reed Shepherd gave you 2, but nobody really shot too well. And it's not that that wasn't expected, but you have to have some other type of offense. And unfortunately, Ime Udoka is not the type of coach where he is very offensively inclined. We know this, though. Defensively, that's his bread and butter. There's nothing wrong with that. But in today's NBA, it can't be like the OKC Thunder last year, where they kind of were just struggling for a majority of the postseason to kind of find some consistent offense outside of ISO from Shea or J-Dub. You kind of have to get creative. Like, yeah, you have Kevin Durant, but outside of that, who else on this team can really create their shot from anywhere on the floor? Saw last night, Amin can't do that. He shot 7 threes, missed every single three. Missed every single three. Just not his game at all. Okay, very clearly. And the thing about Amin is a guy, we know he can do, he can get downhill. We know how, like, aerodynamic he is and things like that. But he's not like a Zion Williamson to where we know Zion can't shoot, but Zion can just drive straight to the paint and run you over. That's not Amin, okay? And with Amin not being able to have that type of power and advantage, that's why you're going to get a game where, like, nobody really respects him from beyond the arc, and he's not able to get to the basket as easily because, bro, you're a guard. You're not Zion Williamson. You see what I'm saying? So it's a bit different. And although the Rockets, like, they kept it close, obviously, because they were great defensively, but for the Rockets to have some real momentum and to actually be able to go far in, like, this season, they're going to be a playoff team, of course. They're going to have a chance to be like a legit contender. They're going to have to figure out this offensive problem, bro. They're going to have to figure out this offensive problem. You look at the box score and like, oh, Sengun had 39, but KD only having 23. Don't really like that. Amin having 18, but like I said, 0 for 7 from 3, 8 for 17 from the field, and really not having a lead guard to sit up here and set up your offense and give you some type of consistency from beyond the arc. It's not good at all. And it definitely showed his head last night. And it's definitely a big reason why they lost to the OKC Thunder. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? The Thunder are some amazing shooting team themselves, but they have legit shooters, bro. You have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 35. You have Lou Dort, who didn't give you a singular three. You know what I'm saying? But we know the defense is going to be there. But Cason Wallace, he's one of those guys who's just a very smart player. He's very impactful. And they can shoot the three. We know they are capable of shooting the three. So it's easier for them to be able to get to their spots and things of that nature. I mean, they just won the championship doing all of these things. You see what I'm saying? But the Rockets just don't have that. And Ime, I can see him running into the same problem that he ran to in Boston. Kind of like when they were getting to that last little, like the title run, the offense just was getting stagnant. What are we going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we going to get a ball to Jason Tatum? Are we going to get a ball to Jaylen Brown? Like, we're just going to let them work? What are we going to do? The offense definitely was starting to get stagnant over time. And I fear the same thing might end up happening with the Rockets this year. You know what I'm saying? Unless they can get it together. And they're definitely going to have to make some adjustments this season for real, just to be able to be better. But that's enough for the Rockets, right? Let's talk about OKC, bro. Let me show you something. Second half. So like I said, in half one, I mean, Shai, bro, 5 points, 2 for 5 from the field, 40%, right? Second half, 18 points, bro. He absolutely took over, and is a huge reason why they won this game. And he was also just very smart. You know what I'm saying? He made a very smart play at the end of that second overtime to bait KD right here. Let's play the play right quick. Boom, you send up KD, you do your little thing, boom. And then you get KD right here. Because KD's going to jump at this point. Let's be honest. KD is going to jump because if you're like me watching this, you're thinking that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is about to shoot the ball. Fake, got KD, foul, he makes the 2 free throws, and that effectively ends the game. KD knows that he messed up. He already knows what happened, bro. And at that point, it was game. Shai makes the 2 free throws. We know Shai is one of the clutchest players, you know what I'm saying, in the NBA, one of the best players in the NBA, if not the best player in the NBA. And we saw last night with the way he just was able to take control of the game. And it was very impressive, bro. It was very impressive. And overall, if I'm OKC, you did this and you beat a Rockets team, which is a very tough matchup. Probably, if we're looking down at the teams that can match up the best with OKC, the Rockets are probably one of those teams that, like, you know, they're one of the best teams when it comes to matching up with OKC, right? I think that's painfully obvious, okay? So for you to go out here without J-Dub, now granted the Rockets don't have Fred VanVleet, but for you to go out here without J-Dub and be able to go into a double overtime at home and beat a team like the Houston Rockets, very impressive. I know the Rockets, like I talked about their shortcomings, they don't really focus on too much positives, but the Rockets didn't play a bad game at all. They won majority of this game. They were leading for majority of this game, and they had this game in the bag, but against a team like OKC, bro, It's never over until it's over. Plain and simple, it's never over until it's over. But let's get into the next game. Let's get into the next game, guys. The next game, you know what I'm saying? Rockets versus Warriors. I mean, the Rockets versus the dang, why am I blanking? The Rockets versus the Thunder was very good, but they weren't the only game that was played last night, bro. We also had none other than the Lakers and the Warriors. And honestly, if I'm a Lakers fan, can't really say I'm too impressed. Can't really say I'm very optimistic about this game, because when I look at this box score, there's nothing that very encouraging, right? We knew Luka was gonna come out, and Luka, God mode, bro. 43 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, a near triple-double, 63% from the field. I mean, that's Luka Doncic at the end of the day. Austin Reeves gives you 26. Listen, we knew what they were going to give you, but outside of them, bro, we only had one player scoring double figures, and that was DeAndre Ayton, and I'm not really moved by DeAndre Ayton. I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But it's just not really a lot of things to really look at, right? The defense wasn't all that encouraging. There were clearly some miscommunications, especially, I mean, we knew this beforehand, but having a guy like DeAndre Ayton be the anchor of your defense, just not going to work. It plain and simple cannot work, and that's very unfortunate, but it is the fact of the matter, bro. He can't do it. He struggled a lot with certain communications. He's never been really good at defending pick and roll with like drop coverage and all these different types of things, and we saw that last night. Gabe Vincent was a guy who he played decent in the preseason, but let's just say it didn't really add up. You know what I'm saying? And like, if I'm a Lakers fan, bro, I'm not gonna lie, kind of concerned. I'll be concerned because it's like, yeah, you get LeBron back, you have Luka and LeBron and Austin Reeves, but outside of that, like, what do you really have, bro? What do you really have? I'm not really that optimistic in DeAndre Ayton. I like Rui, honestly, but like, you just need more power, and as we've seen, bro, just having three players like be at the top of your roster, be the only real contributors, it's just not going to work. I think Rui will end up putting it together and have some games, but I just don't know who the lead guard for this team is going to be, and I don't know who off the bench is going to spark. I like Jake LaRavia. I do like Jake LaRavia, you know what I'm saying? He had a decent little game last night. I think he needs more minutes, but having got somebody like putting Jackson Hayes out there, Jared Vanderbilt isn't really giving anything offensively, so he is effectively a net negative on the court because, like, yeah, one thing we know about Jared Vanderbilt, bro, he's going to lock up. He's going to lock up. That's just what he does. But he also isn't going to give you anything on offense. So, like, what you want to say is a positive kind of doesn't really pay. He doesn't give you anything on offense. So, it's really like a neutral at that point. And at that point, you have to wonder, is it really worth putting him out there on the court, bro? Is it really worth putting him out there on the court? But honestly, this game was, like, way closer than, like, I think. I'm not going to say than some people would think because obviously, like, coming into it, I had the Lakers winning. So, but, you know, the Lakers, they had their moments. The game wasn't like a 10-point stretch all the time, but it was clear that the Warriors were going to win. And I'm just going to show you a couple reasons why the Warriors won, bro. Let's look right here. Bro. Here's why DeAndre Ayton, he has a lot he has to work on, right? Okay, you get the pass from Luka, right? Luka's going to pass it to DeAndre Ayton. As we can all see, DeAndre Ayton has the inside leverage on Gary Payton. He has the inside leverage, and this should be a catch. You go up and you score, right? Now, it's not that simple. Luka makes the pass. Will Richard right here out of Florida, bro, he makes a phenomenal, this is a heads-up play from the rookie, bro. He immediately is cutting. And when he's cutting, let me tell you what he's looking for when he's cutting. He's looking for that ball to be, right before he really secures it, for a pocket to just pick the ball. He's looking for a pocket to pick the ball. And guess what DeAndre Ayton gives him? When you're a big, you're supposed to get the ball and hold it high. You're supposed to hold it high over your head, bro. Like DeAndre Ayton, you're 7 feet or whatever. You hold it high over your head and nobody can reach it, bro. Gary Payton's not going to do it. Will Richard's not going to do it. But instead, bring it down, steal, and it's a turnover. But that's not the worst part, bro. You can turn the ball over, cool, but you have to get back. And look, he doesn't get back, bro. He jogs. This is the guy that was guarding him. This is Gary Payton, and look what happens. Look who scores. And look where DeAndre Ayton is. Look where DeAndre Ayton is, bro. And that's one of the main reasons that happened. DeAndre Ayton he's just not, he's very skilled as a big, but the things that you want your big to do, be powerful, be dominant, be assertive, DeAndre Ayton is not that, bro. He's soft. He's soft, and that is a soft play right there, bro. You're a big, listen, I was a bigger kid growing up, so we was playing basketball, bro. I was playing power forward center because I was bigger than everybody. Man, my coaches told me, boom, you get that ball, you hold it up upside your head, bro. Nobody's going to touch it. Nobody is going to touch the ball, bro. And it was quite that simple. But this is not the only thing about DeAndre Ayton, bro. Here's another thing. So here's a second play. I remember watching this, and I was like, bro, this is when I didn't know when to turn the game off. Another entry pass from Luka, bro. You're trying to give DeAndre Ayton the ball. Makes sense, right? He's going by Al Horford. We know Al Horford is one of the smarter defenders in the entire league, one of the smarter players. Swing through, cool. But you're sitting up here trying to force like an issue. Pass the ball or something. You're trying to back him down. Your footwork's all over the place. You can't do anything. You do that and you miss it, bro. You miss it. And I can honestly bring up a couple more things when it came to this game that really just overall went wrong for the Lakers. But this is what you worried about when you brought in a DeAndre Ayton. You worried about all the woes, the softness, not being served down low. When he deals with contact, how he handles contact, his decision making out there on the court, his defensive motor. You worry about all these things, and they reared his head last night. And LeBron comes back, but still, the backline is what you have to worry about, bro. You have to worry about it, man. So I don't know, but we're gonna stop talking about the Lakers. Let's focus on the winners, right? Let's focus on none other than the Golden State Warriors, guys. Golden State Warriors, and honestly, bro, very impressive game. If I'm a Warriors fan, I'm pretty optimistic. The biggest thing about this Warriors team that I was worried about was not only how old they are, but how reliant they were going to have to be on Steph Curry. Now, I know you have a Jimmy Butler, but outside of Jimmy Butler, I look at this roster, I see Kuminga, I see Pods, I see Buddy Hield, I see Al Horford, who will help. But I just see a bunch of guys who it's like, yeah, I guess you could argue the potential is there, but I just don't really see how much they can help. But last night, the team showed up, bro. Jimmy had 31 points. He was the leading scorer. Kuminga gave you 17 and 4 threes. Kuminga giving you 4 threes? He's not known as a shooter. Was very impressive, bro. Steph only had to get like 23, and for Steph, that's calm, bro. That's calm. He didn't even really have to do too much. I mean, mainly because, we know how the Lakers get on defense, but he really didn't have to worry about too much, and it was nice seeing Jimmy Butler be assertive and just do his thing out there on the court, be very efficient, knowing his game, only taking 2 threes, but getting to the free throw line 16 times and making all 16 of them. Big deal, bro. That's a big deal. In the game that you win by 10 points, being able to make like 16 free throws, bro, is very key. It's very key, bro. And this is very impressive. Now, the thing I really want to talk about is, honestly, Jonathan Kuminga. Like, yeah, congrats to Buddy Hield. He did really good. We knew what Al Horford was going to give you. And like I showed you before, Will Richard gave you a very, very good steal and some very nice minutes, bro. He only played 13, but some nice, impressive 13 minutes, if you ask me. The thing is, though, Jonathan Kuminga giving you 4 threes and kind of buying into this role is going to be very crucial to see what happens. I don't think he wants to be on this team. I don't expect him to be on the team for much longer. But if you can get him to buy into the system for like a little while longer to get his value up, you're good if you're a Warriors fan. That way, boom, he buys the system, he gets y'all some wins because you know what type of player he can be, and he will go on to another team. Hopefully you get a good return for him because he's going to have his stock raised at this point. You get a good return for him and he's going to be straight. But it's about the consistency. The thing with Jonathan Kuminga that you have to realize is, yeah, Kuminga can give you all of these great games, bro. Kuminga can give you these great games where he scores 17 points. He'll give you like 4 threes a game, even though I wouldn't expect that to stay, but he'll give you these flashes. But it's consistency, man. Biggest thing with young players, consistency, and Kuminga is no different. We have to see him sustain this over the course of the season. Will it happen? I don't know. I hope it happens, though. I really do hope it happens because I was a Kuminga guy when he was coming out of high school, and then even going to the NBA from not overtime league, from the NBA team, whatever it was. So for him to have a performance like this is encouraging, but I mean, listen, bro, he has encouraging games, doesn't always follow through. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, that's really majority of what I had to say. I think overall it was a phenomenal night of basketball, bro. Phenomenal night of basketball. I was very impressed on a lot of different fronts. Saw some things I liked from the Thunder, the Rockets, the Lakers, the Warriors. Saw some things I liked. Saw some things I didn't like, which I talked about. But y'all let me know down below, bro, what y'all thought about opening night, man. Like I said, I had a good time, bro. I feel like it was a nice little watch. And yeah, that's all I got for now. Until next time, peace.